Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the online coffee. Today we have
Good
here
afternoon.
today we have here Rafael Labrada. Hello, Rafa. How are you?
Hello, hey my guys, followers.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good today, having a little bit of sun here after freezing a little bit down in Switzerland. Today I'm in Spain, and I feel like life is back.
Lucky
I'm
you.
happy. Yeah, sunny and nice. It's even a little bit hot. Yeah,
Really? Wow, so
yeah, it
nice.
is. It is.
I'm jealous. Here is snowing today, and we are two below zero, so it's not
Hmm.
the same. But well, we cannot change
I
it.
don't. I don't envy you, really.
I
I
can
don't.
imagine.
I had this morning, but now I'm in paradise, you can say.
Lucky you. Enjoy it. So, Rafa, tell us a little about your background, about what do you do and your expertise.
Well, what I know is, I'm an engineer. I build factories all around the world. We have built until now some. We have participated and built some 22 factories. We don't build ourselves. We do we are the paper guys. We do the project, and then we propose it to the clients, and then the clients say yes or not. I hope they all say yes, but sometimes it doesn't happen. Then we go with our project and we build it in different places, and then we deliver to our clients, and they can start working. It's food production mainly, and this is professionally what I do. Well, the company is called Senger Engineering. I've got a second company, which is called the Cool Swiss, and it's a distribution company. It is engaged in distribution of ice, ice cubes for
Mhm.
drinks and for cooling things and so on. Um, and yeah, that's a little bit of a hobby, let's say, because it's not producing a lot of money, but it's nice. Then we are the sponsors of the SBU, the Swiss Barkeepers Union, and yeah, this is something we like because these are really nice guys, and they are so creative. They do so many different incredible drinks with and without alcohol. It is for everybody, with and without gluten, for people who are like
Mhm.
celiacs and things like that. It's great. These guys are doing
Yeah,
a
that's
great job.
nice.
Yeah.
Great. And today we're here to talk. You are an engineer, but you know about many other subjects. I know. So, and
Yeah.
one of
Thank
those
you.
things
Thank you.
is game theory. So, to
Wow.
start,
Yeah, this is something I like. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking that everything started with somebody gave me a book about the human brain, and then I started reading the book, but it was so complicated and difficult, mainly because I couldn't understand. I couldn't grasp the concepts because I didn't know what the amygdala is, or I don't know what the prefrontal cortex is. So at the end, I ended up buying a lot of books um, about neurology and anatomy of the brain to be able to understand that book. And this brought me in a very long path, which has been stretching for more than 20 years now, in which I have been reading everything there is to know about behavioral economics, psychology, um, you know, evolutionary evolutionary psychology. And one of those in one of those moments, I don't know how I found game theory, because there is a part of game theory which explores this what they call Darwin's very dangerous idea, which is the idea of evolution. And yeah, since I read about game theory, it captivated me, and I just love it. It's something I really like.
Yeah. So, please start telling to the people that is listening to us what is game theory.
Game theory, okay.
Yes.
Uh, Good question. But we know what it is. We know what it is. But let me first, as I was thinking,
Yeah.
let me first start by making a very important distinction, because people confuse two terms which are very similar. One of them is decision or decision making, which is a process, and another one is game. We are not talking, of course, about checkers or chess or volleyball. We are talking about games that we play almost every day. Not almost. We play every day, almost all the time. Wherever there is a human interaction, there is a game. And this is very important to understand. Sometimes people think they are making a decision, and in reality, they are playing a game. And to make these distinctions can save your life. So it's very important to make a distinction in between those two. Well, what is a decision? Okay. Now let's suppose that I tell you, okay, Gemma, you've got $10, I've got $10. Let's flip a coin, and you can bet on head or tails. If you bet on tails and tail comes, then you can have my $10. And if you bet on heads and head don't come, then I can have your $10. The question would be, is that a game or is that a decision?
You're asking me.
What do you think? Yeah, I'm asking you.
I think you are making a decision inside the game.
Yeah, well, I sort
No?
of I sort of expected that.
Rafa?
Yeah, sorry, I'm back.
Okay, yes.
Yes, my headphones battery just died. But we continue. Okay.
Okay.
I sort of expected that from you. Let me tell you that in reality, this is a decision, because a game needs interaction in between two or more agents. And in this case of flipping a coin, your decision, and that is why it's called a decision, doesn't depend on what I will do. I mean, I flip a coin and the result is head or tails, so there's not much more about it. You make decisions, but games are different. To have a game, you need two agents, and then I need to think what you're going to do, and you need to think what I'm going to do, and I need to think what is the result of my actions if you do something or you do nothing, or you a different thing from what I expected. And that is the beauty of it. This is a game. For example, let's say that we are playing a very, very basic game. It's called rock, scissors, paper. You know that game.
Yes, I know.
Right? What do you think? Is that a game, or is that again a decision?
It's a game.
That is a game. Why? Because the result, the goal that I have is, of course, to win. We don't know if there are utils. I mean, in the sense that we don't know. We are not talking about what we get out of the game, but what we know is that the outcome of the game doesn't depend on me and me alone. It depends also on you. So this interaction is what makes it a game. And that is very important. You have to understand that decisions are unilateral. These are mine and mine alone, and whatever the rest of the world will do doesn't affect the outcome. I can decide to get into the train or not. If I get into the train, I will probably get to the next station. If I stay, I'm not going anywhere, but that's a decision. Nothing, I mean, it depends only on me.
Yes.
Everywhere you have two or more agents, and the outcome depends on the interaction, there is a game.
Okay.
This is very important to understand. And it's very important because, as I told you before, games are so important. We play them every minute of our interactions with human, and they can save your life. It's I mean, to think in game theoretical with a game theoretical perspective can really save your life. And I'm going to give you an example later.
Okay. And you were talking about utils. What are utils in game theory?
Yeah, well, this is actually a very important thing. Utils are measures. Okay, let me give you an example so you can understand it better.
Okay. Yes.
There is a game that is a very simple game. Okay, in this game works like this. Okay, I give you $10.
Yes.
And you are the divider. Let's call you are the divider, and you have to share them with somebody else, somebody you don't know, somebody you never met, and somebody you will never meet. So you don't really care who you are going to share it with, because this person you have never seen it, so this person doesn't really exist.
Okay.
But you have the $10, and you have to divide it. You have to give this person enough money so she will accept the money. And the trick here is that you have to divide it as you wish. If people were rational, you remember Dan Ariely, which says that,
Yes.
Predictably rational and all these things. If people were rational, then the decision is simple. What are you going to do? You give them 1 cent and you keep $9.99. Why? Because this is the rational decision, and this person should accept. Why? Well, because 1 cent is better than nothing. This is complete rationality. But human beings, unfortunately, we are not very rational in that way. We have we have a different way of measuring reality. And this is what is important about this. So let me ask you now the question. Let's play the game. Okay, suppose that I gave you the $10 and you have to divide it. You have to offer somebody a quantity. How much would you give to this person? Remember that if he accepts, you can keep the money and he will keep his part and you are both happy. But if this person refuses, what is going to happen is that you get nothing and this person get nothing. You both walk away empty pocket. So
Okay.
How much would you offer?
But does this person know how much do I have?
Yes, this person knows. Your
Okay.
questions are always very interesting. and out of the let's say out of the normal questions that people normally ask. Yes.
Well,
Okay,
I don't know. If they don't know, it's different.
Yeah.
I don't know.
This person knows that you have $10 and you have to divide it. Okay, so as a divider, how much will you offer?
4.
4. Okay, that's a good thing. Let me tell you that if you offered $4, you will probably walk up with $6 in your pocket, and this person will walk up with 4 because statistics of millions of people, not millions, but hundreds of thousands of people, really hundreds of thousands of people playing this game all over the world, and working with game theoretical analysts says that if you offer anything under this quantity, which is the minimum limit, people will not accept. People will accept as minimum 1/3 of the total quantity. If you offer less than that, they will tell you to take your $2.50 and they don't take it. They don't accept it. And so what we are talking about here is really we're talking about utils. Utils have a value. In this case, the proudness of the person is proud enough to say, okay, if you offer me $1, you know what? I don't take it.
And you
because
lose.
you are stingy. Because you are greedy, now you get nothing also. And the satisfaction of punishing this person worth more than this $1 that I will have gotten. But the things get really more difficult the more is at stake. Suppose that instead of $10, I give you 1 million. And you have to divide it with another person. You as a divider, how much would you offer?
The same proportion. 400.
Four?
Yes.
$4?
No, 400,000.
400,000. That's for sure going to be accepted. But in this case, what I mean is that something like pride and something like the satisfaction of punching somebody has a real value in utils. We don't use money to measure these things because money is too abstract and doesn't capture the essence of feelings like love, or because suppose this person you have to divide the money with now is a total stranger, but suppose it's your father or your brother or your very good friend or somebody you hate, so all these things have to be taken into account to computate. So that's why we don't use money to measure utils, but money is just another util, another one of them. Just like pride, or just like like the satisfaction of punching the bad guy, or it's just another util that you can use, but it's not the main one, and it's not the most important one. There are a lot more of things that are more important than money. In your case, let me tell you that in India, okay, India is a very poor country, so these researchers in game theory from the MIT, they went there, and with not so much money, you can put into the hands of these people enough money so it will be a big thing for them, a life-changing thing for them. So they were offering people sometimes enough money as to pay for a whole year of work, and then they were asking them to divide. And the majority of the dividers were offering around 15% of the total, because they knew, because of culture, because of value of the things around, they knew that you can buy pride with 15% of this very huge quantity of money for them. So at the end, the approximate value of pride is 15% of the total offered by a divider. So this is an interesting question, an interesting finding that they had in India.
Yeah, but it's true. I can find a situation that happened to me similar to this. I had a bike before, and I wanted to sell it. It was new, 1 year old, but it was too big for me, and I was suffering a lot biking with the bike, so I wanted to sell it. And there was one guy that said, "Oh, I can buy it to you, 20 euros." No, it's new. 20 euros and that's it. And I say, no. So I give it for free to other person. And I tell the other one, I give it for free to that person. I prefer to give it for free than make 20
and you
euros.
were walking away,
and probably
you were walking away satisfied with yourself.
Yes.
Okay. So what is game theory at the end is a way of describing reality in terms of games and math. Okay. It is a way of thinking strategically. I'm just reading it because I wanted to give you the exact let's say, terms. It is a way of thinking strategically and with greater exactitude about interaction in any walk of life. Okay.
Okay. And what is the difference? Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. I was going to ask you about the kind of ways that there the games that are different, like basic and nuclear.
Oh, yeah.
If you can tell. Yes. About it.
Okay, there are some games that we play every day, and everybody plays every day. The most important game in game theory is the dilemma of the prisoner. It's just to make it fast. It goes like this. Okay, let's say Uncle Jim, and he's a mafia guy. Mafia boss, mob boss. And Pablo Escobar, they were, Pablo Escobar, so they were together robbing a bank, and they killed one of the policemen which were guarding this bank, but they were caught by the police, and then they were put in separate rooms, and then they are facing a dilemma, and the dilemma is, okay, Um, if you say, if Pablo Escobar will say that it was Uncle Jim who did it, and he killed him, and he did everything, and I was just following orders. So what is going to happen is that Uncle Jim is going to go to jail for 20 years, and Pablo Escobar will walk free because he collaborated with the authorities, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they have $1 million that they stole from the bank, so he has a bigger incentive because he will not only walk free, but he will have $1 million in his pocket after he walks free. So it is very important for him to walk free. But what is going to do Uncle Jim? Uncle Jim can do two things, just like Pablo Escobar can do two things. He can shut up, in which case the authorities have no proof, and they can just send them to jail for 5 years for being in the bank, but they have no proof of the killing, so they cannot send them for more time than that. Or he can also snitch on Pablo Escobar and say, hey, he did it, he was the bad guy, and this is how it happened. And, at the end, what is going to happen is that, you've got two options. Either you say, he did it, either you shut up and say nothing. Okay? So this is a very difficult game, because if they both shut up, they get both 5 years and €1 million to share.
Mm-hmm.
But if one of them snitches on the other, this one will walk free and with $1 million. But if both snitch, they will go to jail together for if both shut up, they walk free together with $1 million that they can share. So it's either 5 years if they snitch on each other, nothing if they shut up, and 20 years if one of them snitches on the other. This is the final result. So what game theory predicts that you should do in this case? Well, game theory says snitch. You snitch, and the faster the better. Why? Because this is what is called a Nash Equilibrium. It comes after Nash. There is a film about him, which is called A Marvelous Mind. And but the most important thing about it is that this is the best strategy you can play, no matter what others will do. This is the best thing you can do, and it's called Nash Equilibrium because there is no better option. There is a better option, of course, which is both shut up. But are you sure that the other guy is not going to snitch and that everything is going to be okay? And how sure are you?
This is really difficult.
It's difficult. So if you ever find yourself in this situation,
I hope not.
My advice to you is to snitch, and the faster the better, because game theory predicts this is what is going to happen. And in reality, this is exactly what happens every time people play this game anywhere. And this is, and if this is one shot, okay, let's change a little bit the situation, forget about the jail, and let's talk about dollars and cents so we can make it more understandable. If it is one shot, it's always easy. You've got a dominant strategy, it is to always snitch. But imagine this game is repeated 10 times, okay? Imagine you can collaborate or snitch 10 times. What are you going to do? Okay, you can talk and you can get into an agreement and you can say, okay, let's collaborate because we get better results. We both get something out of this, And maybe you will do it. And then in the second game you play, you also do it. The third game you play and so on. But in the last game, game number 10, is it in your interest as a rational player to snitch or to collaborate? It is again in your own interest to snitch because there are no more games. So you don't have to think about what is going to happen next.
And because you want to maximize your profit, your utils, what are you going to do? You snitch. But he knows, as well as you, that you're going to snitch in the last game. So he will also snitch in the last game. But if both are going to snitch in the last game, the result of the last game is obvious. We know it already. So this is not anymore the last game. The last game is the one before that one. The pre-last game. Because the last game, we know the result. So what are we going to do in the pre-last game? Well, we are going to snitch because we know what is going to happen on the last game. So in this one is the real last one. So why wait until the last one? I do it now and then I have better results. So you go to the next one in the row and so on and so forth up to the first one. So no matter how many times you play, your best strategy is always to snitch and not collaborate. Unless you don't know how many times you are going to play the game. Because if you don't know how many times you are going to play the game, if it can be 1, 10, 20, 1 million or infinite, then it is in your best interest to collaborate. In fact, there was a game played by computers, by computer programs, and this game demonstrated exactly this. This game demonstrated that when you play an indeterminate number of prisoner dilemma games, the best strategy that you can follow, and listen to this because this is very important, and this is going to save you a lot of trouble in life, and it's going to save anyone in life a lot of trouble. The best strategy to play in human interactions when we are playing this game of the dilemma of prisoners is in 4 words. Nice, you always collaborate the first time. Provocable, you get very angry and you do, you go against this person the second time if he didn't collaborate the first. So it's nice, provocable, forgiving. Okay, if this person comes and say, I'm sorry for the last time, but now I will collaborate for sure, then you collaborate again. You are quick to forgive. And the last one is straightforward. And straightforward is of the 4th, the most important one.
I love that one.
If you say something, you do it. If you say something, you have to enforce it. So you have to ask nicely, hello, please, can we collaborate? The second time, you show the person or the agent that you are ready to do what you say. If you don't collaborate, I will not collaborate with you. Okay? And this is also important in setting boundaries with other human beings, with this very annoying person at work who is, making very stupid jokes or telling you, you don't dress good enough. This person you asked the first time, hey, can you stop with these comments? The second time you tell him to stop, you say, hey, now stop. Otherwise, the third time you are straightforward. You tell him what is going to happen. You tell him the consequences. Okay, hey, if you don't stop now, I'm going to go to the HR, to human resources, and I'm going to explain the situation I'm having with you. And if it doesn't stop, what do? Well, you enforce. You go to human resources and you do it. And this is going to create a reputation of you as a person who doesn't let others violate their boundaries, and a person you have to collaborate with. And this is very important in all areas of life.
True, I agree.
This is one of the most important games. Is not one of the most important. It's in fact the most important. Then we have chicken, which is I say it's a game that politicians play a lot. Trump was playing this recently with the Congress. When they wanted to pass the bill for the building or the construction of the famous wall. There was a government shutdown because Trump and his people, they say, no, we do the wall, and I don't remember how many billions, and the Congress says, no, and and there was like, this game of chicken is called Chicken after the film from the 60s, I guess, or the 70s. It was from the 70s, where, the two cars were driving one to another, and one of them has to steer to not die, So this is more, the dilemma of the prisoner is a conflict game. There is a conflict there, which you have to solve. This one is more like, okay, so
who is the stronger?
I'm going to keep my position until something happens. But this game we play every day also with a lot of people. This is when you come, for example, to a line and somebody cuts in front of you, and you say, hey, it's a little bit to see how much you can keep your stand.
Yeah, like the people is pushing.
How much you're willing to, And in this interaction, there are no dominant strategies. In fact, there are three strategies that you can use. You can keep on driving and crash. You lose a lot of utils because you're going to be in the hospital.
Maybe your life.
After you crash. You can swear, and then you lose all your points because this person was crossing you. And you can. There is another thing that you can do, and that is not to participate. But in that way, they are also crossing you. So, yeah, this is a very simple game, and there is always a way in which you can win this game. This game is easy to win.
Really?
There is a very simple strategy that you can use, and you always win this game. And this is to make a commitment so strong that the other person is going to believe that you will never turn the wheel. What do? Okay, you sit in the car, you take a screwdriver, you unscrew the wheel, and you throw it to the window. And then you push the pedal. He knows you will not back down because there is no way you do that. And that you can apply in any other spheres of human life. If you make a commitment strong enough, people will back down because they have no way. They will not get injured. They are scared, no matter who it is. They are scared of getting injured. So this is the way of always winning this game. But you have to be willing to take your wheel and throw it to the window, because
you don't know how crazy is the other person.
What if the other person was listening to us today?
It's suicidal.
And throws the wheel also, the steering wheel also through the window.
Yeah, you don't know
what is that is going to happen. So be careful, but there is a way to always win this game. Then there is another way, another game, which is also very important game theory, which is called the Battle of the Sex. It is the coordination game. It goes very fast. I tell you very fast. It goes like you are in love with X, with Ramon, and then Ramon, whatever. You are in love with Matt Dillon. Matt Dillon, whatever. And then, but you separate, and then now he's got a new girlfriend, and you've got a new boyfriend, and then now you love the restaurant Amore Forever, and this restaurant Amore Forever is your favorite place, but it's also Matt's favorite place. And you know that you used to go there with him every Saturday, and now you want to invite your new boyfriend to go there on Saturday and have dinner in the restaurant Amore Forever, because this is a place that you love, and you're going to get a lot of, good vibrations in that place. So you want to invite. But your fear is that Matt is also in love with the restaurant and is also coming on Saturday. And this will be a disaster if you come together. He with his new girlfriend, you would need you with your new boyfriend. Nobody knows what is going to happen. So you don't want that. So this is the worst possible outcome. So this is a coordination game. You want to do something. You don't want to go there if Matt goes there. But as soon as you know that Matt is not going to go, you want to go there because this is what you want to do. So how you coordinate this? This is another game that we play every day. And if you really think about all this, and you have it in your mind, you see games everywhere.
Yeah, what you say?
Every day.
Things come to my mind. They happen to me, like the bicycle that I told you before.
Yeah. So this one, for example, I was thinking about it. Okay, well, imagine that I give you a map, okay, and I tell you, okay, we are going to meet each other in one place in this map at any time tomorrow, and you have to decide when and where. You have to decide how to coordinate with me without talking to me. So the map I give you is of a forest, and then in this big forest there is a cataract, like the Niagara Fall. There is a fall, like the Niagara Fall. Okay, so where are you gonna go, and how are we gonna meet tomorrow? I'm asking you.
To the fall.
You go to the fall.
The different thing.
Yeah. What time?
Around lunchtime.
Yeah. Correct. This is what everybody would do.
Really?
Everybody would do something like that. Because there is a difference in between the waterfall and the rest. So the rest in your brain comes as noise. And the only important bit of information is the fall. And it's also because of evolution. Evolution has programmed our brains to look for things that move. If the water moves, you want to go there, or you want to get away from there, because when we were in the, I don't know, 3 million years ago, when we were in the caves, and the things that move were always either food or
danger,
tigers, predators. So you had to be very focused on things that move, and that is very important for our brain. So wherever there is something that reminds you of movement, there you can is where the human brain has consensus, and this is very important for marketing, because when you make packaging, or when you make a design or something, you want to put there things that move, because these attract and holds attention. Even if you don't want, you may want to not look at that, but if it moves, or it is a representation, an icon of a moving object, there's no way. You have to look, because your brain is programmed to do that. And you cannot help it. You will look, and everybody will. And this is important for marketing. It's the same with eyes, parts of people, parts of animal, not the whole person, but parts of a person. You know, when you put something like that into an ad, when you put a part of a person, what happens is that you are attracted to that image, because you're wondering where is the rest of it, and how it looks, because we have like what is called specular image, okay, like symmetry imagery program also in our brain. So if you see a part, somehow you need to see the other, and you cannot help it. Your brain is programmed to do that.
Yeah,
and this is important for people like you who do these kind of things against us consumers.
Not against. We do it together to make it easy for you.
That's beautiful. We do it together. That's a way of putting it.
Of course.
And yeah, then the fourth small game, micro game that we play every day is the game I was talking before. Is the one where you have to divide the money, and this game of making decision, which is also very important in game theory. But these are like let's call it nuclear games, because all the games that we play somehow at the end if you subdivide it, the molecules of the games are these four. These are the most usual. And if you dissect a game and you break it apart in little small pieces, at the end you end up having one of these games as a basic nuclear for the rest of the game. And thinking that all of our interactions are games, it is important that we know them all, because we will see them everywhere, every day.
Yeah, when you are talking about it, they come to my mind. Situations that happened to me.
And,
So, yes, and
to finish for today, because I don't want to make this very long,
I have more
I
questions
wanted
for
to tell
you.
you. Huh?
I have more
What?
questions for you.
Oh, okay. Tell me.
Yeah, there are two that I want to make. I have a lot, but we can take two. And then maybe we
Yeah.
can do a second part another day. And how can you apply game theory to human behavior?
To human behavior. My God.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
That's important.
So let's say, as I told you before, I think I told you before that game theory can save your life. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, suppose it's night. You are in a unknown neighborhood, a neighborhood you don't know very well, and then you are entering your car, or you're entering the house of some of your friends, whatever that you went there to do or to see. Or let's put it better, let's make it more concrete. You're at the gas station, you're tanking, you're putting gas into your tank, and then when you're doing that, somebody suddenly comes from behind and takes a knife and put it to your throat and say, "Hey, give me the money." Okay? This is a human interaction, this is a game, but what are you going to do? What do you do?
I was laughing because I'm not their regular people for this. It happened once to me and I took the knife.
Yeah, but
so but if you ask me, I will tell you that I will never do that, because when I think that I will never do that, but when that happened to me, that's what I did. So sometimes you don't do what you think you are going to do.
Right. So, but what is it that you think you should do?
Give your money to them or whatever they ask.
Yeah. This is the correct answer. Okay. But now suppose that the guy comes with the knife and puts it to your throat and says, "Hey, get into the car." What is it that you are going to do? Well, let me tell you what game theory has to say about this.
Yes.
Everything is a question of goals. What he is looking for. Utils, goals, results. If he wants the money, he will be happy with your wallet, with your watch, and with whatever you can give him from the car. But the money he tells you to enter into the car,
yes,
he's not looking for money anymore. He's not looking for resources.
No.
He's after you, person, after your person, because the payoffs have changed. The utils have changed. He's not after resources. He's after you. And then the best way for you to stay alive is to fight. There's no other way. If you get into the car, because he's after you, because he already has your record, your resources, and I mean, you have to fight. There's no other way. And I advise you, this is in self-defense books also, I advise you to yell and act crazy.
What I did.
But this is not
That's what I did.
This is not in game theory, but in game theory we say it pays to be unpredictable. It pays to be unpredictable. People get very confused and they start thinking irrationally. So yeah.
That's good to know.
But yes, this is the way in which game theory can save your life, because you are going to start understanding and looking at the world from a different angle. You are going to start looking at the people, and you are going to start understanding people as a junction of many things, and you're going to understand the games that you are playing with, not only with them, but between the whole society. okay? And you're going to try to see what utils they are after and to measure them in your own terms. And this is very important for many, many branches of science, but especially for marketing, for behavioral economics, and things like that, in sciences like that, because they really can help you. Let's put it clear: they really can help you sell your product. Whenever you want to sell, for example, in a bookshelf, you want to sell a book, you put all the books vertically, and the one you want to sell, put it in the middle and put it horizontally. What is going to happen is that this is the first book that people are going to look at when they get to this place. Why? Well, for the same reason you wanted to meet me tomorrow at the waterfall at lunchtime.
Yeah. Okay, and now the last question. Then I'm going to put two together. One is, how can we use game theory to solve conflicts? And then for the people that want to start using game theory, how can they start? What can they read? What are the first steps to learn about it?
Okay. Yes. Solving conflicts is one of the things that game theory can help you do. And when we were talking about the dilemma of the prisoner, which is a conflict game, it's a game where there is a big conflict of interest,
yes,
which is something that is happening every day, everywhere. And let me put it this way: during the First World War, for, I don't remember exactly the number of kilometers, but it was over 1,500 kilometers. The front in between the Germans and what was happening? There was peace. The generals were coming to this border. Let's say where the war should be the front of the war, where they should be killing each other. And there were German soldiers just walking around without a shirt, with a can of food in their hands, and eating and shouting things, and they were within rifle distance. I mean, any one of the soldiers could have shot him and killed him, but nobody did it. Why nobody did it? Well, because you have to be nice but provocable, forgiving and straightforward. How this happened? People wonder. Well, it happened like this. First, they started thinking, okay, we don't shoot on holidays because it's holiday, so we don't shoot on holiday. Even though they hated each other and they wanted to kill each other, but not on holiday. And then it was, well, not on holiday and not during meal time. Let us eat. You eat and we eat. You don't shoot me during lunchtime or dinner time. I don't shoot you during dinner time, lunchtime. Let's keep it that way. And they were both respecting this. They never spoke, but they knew somehow that holidays
the rules that you don't shoot,
and that during meal times you don't shoot. And then it was like, okay, let us sleep. So we just shoot during the nights, and then at the end, it was a peaceful situation. They were even talking to each other. It was nice. It was like a camp for, there was no war. And then the generals thought, okay, how to solve this? Because they should be killing each other. I mean, if we are more than 10, if we kill 10,000 of them, even if we lose 10,000 people, because we are more, we are winning the war, so we need to do something. And they say, okay, shoot. They were like, no, but now it's lunchtime, so we don't do that now. And then they were like, how to solve this problem? And at the end, they came up with a solution, and it was that they had to show, the soldiers had to show corpses, dead soldiers from the other front, and once nice but provocable, once the first soldier killed a soldier from the other side, not at the time agree, because then they were shooting each other only during only when there was a direct order from the command. Now you go. In that time they were of course shooting each other, but you know what? They were shooting not to kill. They were shooting to miss. They were shooting, because they liked each other. This war, but we're
really weird.
So what happens is that at the end, the generals wanted to see corpses, and when this happened and they started showing corpses, the others also started to to shoot to kill, and then the war, let's say, started again, and this peace broke out, and it was never restored until the war was over, and one of the sides of it. So this is a real thing. This is a real thing. What happened? Imagine how strong is game theory that it can predict human behavior during a conflict of war in between two sides that hate each other. But as long as you use the right strategy to solve the right game, you are going to end up better. And this is how you apply to human behavior.
And how can we start learning about it? Where do we have to start? What are the first steps or books or something? Tell us a little.
Okay, there are many courses on game theory, but I would recommend that you, I was writing here. Okay, yeah. I would recommend that you check people like Robert Goldman and Nash, about the Nash Equilibrium, and these. But mainly, my suggestion is that you start by checking not complicated, because there is a lot of mathematics in game theory, a lot of mathematics. I have tried not to give you any formula or anything like that.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
There is a lot of mathematics involved, so but you can do it without the math. And this is very important. It is very nice, because if you have to do the math, it doesn't work anymore. So my suggestion is that you start by learning which are the small games, and you start by trying to see these little games, how we play them every day, and to develop your own strategy for solving those games.
That's interesting. Wow, thank you very much, Rafa. It was really interesting. As always, when we talk, we are almost 1 hour talking, but it was really interesting.
Thank you for inviting me. It was a very nice talk. Thank you, Gemma.
Thank you. Enjoy Spain.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.